Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, June 9th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap last night's Game 3 of the NBA Finals. I'm going to look ahead to tonight's Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, Major League Baseball, WNBA, Women's College World Series, Golf, NBA Mock Draft, News and Notes, Best Bet. All right, we're going to start with the NBA Finals, and rightfully so. The Boston Celtics survive yet another third quarter from hell and get the 116-100 win over the Warriors, take a 2-1 series lead. Jaylen Brown, 27 points for Boston, and Stephen Curry, despite being in foul trouble, 31 points. Draymond fouled out in this game. Steph had 4 fouls in 3 quarters, so not all went right for the Warriors last night, despite having the big third quarter, and took a brief 83-82 lead. And then Boston just took over from that moment. They said, we're not letting this happen again. And they can't let it happen again. They almost did, but they rebounded from it and ran away with the game and took the 2-1 series lead. And now Game 4 will be Friday night, so we will preview and pick that game on the podcast tomorrow. Now move on to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Game number 5 tonight between the Lightning and the Rangers, style of best of 3. 8 o'clock ESPN, Sean McDonough, Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan. And one more note, Mike Breen finally back for ABC after missing a week and a half because he tested positive for COVID. So welcome back to Mike Breen. Jeff Van Gundy missed Game 1. He came back Game 2. And now the big 3 of NBA broadcasting is reunited. So Lightning Rangers tonight at the Garden. The Lightning are probably favored. And they are minus 130. The Rangers are plus 108. Over under 5.5. Overs plus 116. Unders minus 102. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 190. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 240. I think we're going to have another overtime game. I don't know who wins. So I'm going to say tie 3-1 for the game to go to overtime. I don't know who wins. At gunpoint, I'll say Tampa because I picked Tampa in 6. But I'm probably going to have a ticket with Rangers plus 1.5 and something else, so I can get a little bit of money where it could potentially work both ways for from trying to hedge. So I'm going to say tie 3-1 for the game to go to overtime. All right, Major League Baseball. We'll go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Tigers over the Pirates 3-1. Royals over the Blue Jays 8-4. D-backs over the Reds 7-zip. Mariners over the Astros 6-3. Marlins over the Nationals 2-1 and 10 on a walk-off single by Jesus Aguilar. Rays over the Cardinals 11-3. Braves over the A's 13-2. Guardians over the Rangers 4-zip. Twins over the Yankees 8-1. Dodgers over the White Sox 4-1. Phillies over the Brewers 10-zip. So the Phillies still undefeated under Rob Thompson. 6 straight. And honestly, I want to say that one of those wins might have been with Girardi before he got fired. So it's kind of a fun subplot there. Red Sox over the Angels 1-zip. Padres over the Mets 13-2. And the Giants over the Rockies 2-1 and 10 on a walk-off error by Charlie Blackmon, as it was a single by Luis Gonzalez. And Cubs-Orioles was postponed. Makeup date August 18th. All right, today's games. 12:30 D-backs Reds. Zach Davies and Tyler Mahle. Reds minus 144, D-backs plus 122, over under 10, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. D-backs plus 1/2 is minus 170, Reds minus 1/2 is plus 140. Reds are 63% to win. But I like the under. That is a very high total. 1 o'clock, Cardinals Rays. Miles Mikolas and Shane McClanahan. Rays minus 184, Cardinals plus 154, over under 6.5. Overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Cardinals plus 1/2 is minus 164. Rays minus 1/2 is plus 136. The under is no way. No way I'm taking the under. So, I'm going to go first half results high, 4-1. 2 o'clock, you have the Dodgers and the White Sox. Tyler Anderson and Dylan Cease. Dodgers minus 116, White Sox minus 102, over under 8.5, overs minus 112, others minus 108. Dodgers minus 1/2 is plus 136, White Sox plus 1/2 is minus 164. Minus 116 might be a steal with the Dodgers at 57%. My minus 120 is 52.5 because I think even money is 47.5. So I'm getting a steal here, minus 116 with the Dodgers, so I'm just going to take them on the money line. Phillies Brewers. Zach Eflin and Corbin Burns. Brewers minus 172, Phillies plus 144, over under 7, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Phillies plus 1/2 is minus 152, Brewers minus 1/2 is plus 126. I'm going to take the over, but I don't feel good about it. 3:45, Rockies Giants. Austin Gomber and Logan Webb. Giants minus 275, Rockies plus 225, over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Rockies plus 1/2 is plus 112, Giants minus 1/2 is minus 134. Run line's overvalued. I'm going to go, I don't feel good about it, but I like the over. 6:30, Nats Marlins. Steven Strasburg making his season debut tonight against Trevor Rogers. Marlins minus 144, Nats plus 122, over under 8, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Nats plus 1/2 is minus 172, Marlins minus 1/2 is plus 142. Tough one. I'm going to go with first half over 4.5 at plus 114. 7 o'clock, Ace Guardians. James Kaprielian and Connor Pilkington. Guardians minus 190, A's plus 160, over under 8.5, overs minus 115, others minus 105. A's plus 1/2 is minus 128, Guardians minus 1/2 is plus 106. I like the over. 7:20, Pirates Braves. JT Brubaker and Max Fried. Braves minus 275, Pirates plus 225, over under 8.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Pirates plus 1/2 is plus 110, Braves minus 1/2 is minus 132. I'm going with the over. $7:30, Yankees Twins. Garrett Cole and Dylan Bundy. Yankees minus 205, Twins plus 172, over under 8, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Yankees minus 1/2 is minus 122, Twins plus 1/2 is plus 102. I like the over here. Dylan Bundy's terrible. 8 o'clock, Orioles Royals. Jordan Lyles and Chris Bubick. Baltimore minus 104, KC minus 112, over under 9.5, overs minus 105, others minus 115. Royals minus 1/2 is plus 146, Royals plus 1/2 is minus 178. So the O's are favored on the run line, but the Royals are favored on the money line. And the O's are favored on FBI slightly. So I'm going to go with the Orioles minus 104, 50.4% to win. I do like Baltimore. Don't feel good about it, though. Baltimore in the over, same game parlay. And last but not least, at 9:30, you have the Red Sox and the Angels. As the Angels are looking to end the losing streak, Nick Pivetta and Shohei Ohtani. Angels minus 132, Red Sox plus 112, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 192, Angels minus 1.5 is plus 158. I'm going to go with the over. I don't feel good about it. This is banking on, Pivetta not having a great game, and Ohtani, low-key, hasn't been good lately. So I like the over in that spot as well. All right, now I'm going to look at the WNBA games from last night. We have no games today, though, for some reason. I guess we have a big weekend in the W coming up. There's a lot of games Friday. There's one Saturday, and there's a couple on Sunday, too. So, Wednesday results: the Sun over the Fever, 88-69. The Sun are 10-3. Indiana is 3-11. Brown and Jones had 18 points and 9 boards. Melissa Smith had 19 and 7 boards for Indy. Mystics over the Sky, 84-82. The Mystics are 8-5. Chicago 7-4. Ariel Atkins had 19-7-5, and Candace Parker had 16 and 9 boards. Alrighty, so there was only 2 games on last night in the W, and now we'll move on to the Women's College World Series. Last night was Game 1, and number 1 Oklahoma kicked major butt, 16-1 in Game 1. Of course, they're amazing. You would expect them to win. And they're just going to cruise through this whole thing. They had 6 homers. And there's players who hit multiple home runs. And there's so many of them that just step up. Jocelyn Allo, multiple homer game. Jonna Johns homered in this game, as did Tyre Jennings. So this is an absolutely loaded team. And they play again tonight, 7:30 on ESPN2. And they're going to win again. And they're going to destroy Texas. Because they're way better than Texas. They're so talented. And they are 58-3 for a reason. So Oklahoma might win this one 14-2. Or something insane like that. This is going to be another blowout for Oklahoma, who will win the 2022 Women's College World Series. All right, now I'll move on to golf. The Canadian Open got on their way early this morning. And your leader right now with 4 under is Matt Fitzpatrick. Tied for second with 3 under, Mackenzie Hughes and Shane Lowry. Tied for fourth with 2 under, Adam Hadwin, Hayden Buckley, Mike Weir, and Sangil No. Tied for 8th with 1 under, Vincent Whaley, Vincent Taylor, Max McGreevy, Lucas Hodges, Brant Snecker, Charlie Hoffman, Nate Taylor, Tony Finau, Adam Cook, Henrik Norlander, J.J. Henry, Ben Martin, Wyndham Clark, Joseph Bromlett. Tied for 22nd at even, Hank Lebioda, Brian Stewart, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, JT Potts, and JJ Spawn, Tyler Duncan, Robert Streb, Cam Piercy, Lucas Donald, Adam Long, Jonathan Kay, Peter Malnati, Doug Gibb, Danny Lee, Bo Van Pelt, and Michael Gilgick. Tied for 39th with one over, Matthias Schwab, Henry Higgs, Sam Piercy, Corey Connors, Dylan Fratelli, Jonathan Vegas, Johnson Wagner, Greg Chalmers, Scott Brown, and Chris Kirk. Tied for 49th with two over, Rafa Carabeo, Nate Watney, and Carlos Ortiz. And tied for 52nd with three over, Jason Duffner. And 53rd with five over is Kevin Stradler. So that is the early leaderboard at the Canadian Open. All right, now I'm going to move on to my latest NBA mock draft. This is my 6th with 2 weeks to go until the draft. So without further ado, here we go. Number 1, the Orlando Magic. Jabari Smith, power forward, Auburn. The Magic can have their pick of one of the big three with Smith, Chet Holmgren, and Paolo Banchero. Smith, you can make a case as the safest of the top three because of his fine all-around play in school, despite poor guard play around him. 2, Oklahoma City Thunder. Paolo Banchero, power forward, center, Duke. There's a ton of buzz going around that the Thunder may surprise us to take Banchero here instead of Chet Holmgren. Banchero is perhaps the best offensive player in this draft, including his skill set and willingness to pass the ball, but he's not a rim protector and has suspect defense. Number 3, the Houston Rockets. Chet Holmgren, power forward, center, Gonzaga. The Rockets will take the last one remaining of the top 3 prospects, and they'll gladly take Holmgren, who folks thought would possibly go first overall. Holmgren has a great skill set, and it would fit well with the young Nicholas the team has going. Number 4, the Sacramento Kings. Jaden Ivey, point guard, shooting guard, Purdue. This would be an odd fit considering the Kings already have De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell, unless the team opts to move one of the 2 point guards. Ivey is a super explosive player, but he lacks the distribution skills. 5, the Detroit Pistons. Keegan Murray, power forward, Purdue. The Pistons dropping to the 5th spot is not ideal, but it may not be a complete disaster as they have a few viable options. Murray's a nice fit here as he could be a fun pick and pop partner for Cade Cunningham with his shooting ability. 6, Indiana Pacers. Sheldon Sharp, shooting guard, Kentucky. The Pacers should just go with the best player available at this point, and the fit with Sharp would be interesting considering the Pacers have a lot of solid guards on their roster. Sharp didn't play at Kentucky but can shoot the lights out of the ball. 7, Portland Trailblazers. Dyson Daniels, shooting guard, G League Ignite. This would be a major reach for the Blazers if this was the selection, but Daniels has been a super fast riser of late. People are skeptical of Daniels due to shooting numbers, but he is a solid defender and gets to the basket. 8, New Orleans Pelicans from the Los Angeles Lakers. Benedict Mathurin, shooting guard, small forward, Arizona. This would be a nice pick for the Pelicans, who would add depth on the wing. Mathurin really broke out in a big way last season and is your classic 3-and-D wing that a ton of teams will covet. 9, the San Antonio Spurs. AJ Griffin, small forward, Duke. The consensus for a while was that the Spurs were going to target a center with this pick, but here I have them going in a different direction. Griffin had a fine season for the Blue Devils, and he can come in and provide some good shooting and athleticism. Number 10, the Washington Wizards. Johnny Davis, shooting guard, Wisconsin. This would be a very interesting pick for the Wizards since Bradley Beal is the face of trade rumors. Davis is a very selfless player, and even if the Wizards were to keep Beal, he and Davis would be a fun pair together on the perimeter. 11, the New York Knicks. Ty Washington, point guard, Kentucky. Some may look at this as a reach, but I can see Knicks fans excited for Ty in the Big Apple. The Knicks have a need for a true point guard, and the idea of Washington, with his capabilities to be in the backcourt with Emmanuel Quickley, would be fun. 12, the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Los Angeles Clippers. Jeremy Schoen, small forward, Baylor. The Thunder are a team that needs some help on the wing. Schoen is someone that really showed off an elite skill set this past season with the Bears, and I like the fit here with the Thunder. 13, the Charlotte Hornets. Mark Williams, center, Duke. The third Duke player in this mock I have going to Charlotte. The Hornets badly need a center, and Williams is someone who had a great tournament in which his stock rose, but he doesn't have high upside. 14, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Osome Dieng, small forward, France. This pick would be a reach for the Cavaliers, who really should be taking players that can help them right away rather than someone who's a project. Dieng was inconsistent in the NBL, but has tremendous upside with his shot making and ball handling. 15, the Charlotte Hornets from the New Orleans Pelicans. Malachi Branham, shooting guard, small forward, Ohio State. With their second first rounder, the Hornets grab a fast-rising wing prospect who may be a reach here. Barnum could shoot it well from three and gets into the paint often. 16, the Atlanta Hawks. Jalen Duren, center, Memphis. The Hawks get the steal of this mock draft so far with Duren. This would be an interesting pick considering the abundance of bigs the Hawks have, and Duren is someone that is capable of putting up a double. 17, Houston Rockets from the Brooklyn Nets. Jalen Williams, shooting guard, Santa Clara. With their second first round, I have the Rockets going with Williams, who I think could be a solid bench player. He's been a big-time riser in late terms of draft prospects and showed tremendous potential as a 3-and-D wing. 18, the Chicago Bulls. Tari Eason, power forward, LSU. The Bulls are one of the unknowns as we head into the draft in 2 weeks. Eason had a breakout season for the Tigers and is an excellent defender, but has some offensive flaws. 19, the Minnesota Timberwolves. E.J. Little, power forward, Ohio State. I really like the thought of Little with the Timberwolves as he would be a nice complement with their core players. Little is somebody that is a little bit older but improved each and every year at Ohio State. 20, the San Antonio Spurs. Nikola Jovic, power forward, Serbia. The Spurs going with Jovic here would be very interesting. He is the safest bet of the international players in this draft. He's your classic point forward type of player that does a little bit of everything. 21, the Denver Nuggets. Blake Wesley, shooting guard, Notre Dame. The Nuggets are a team that aims to be in title contention next season, so they hope to nail this pick. I do feel Wesley here would be a reach because he didn't impress in college, but he's not afraid to score. 22, the Memphis Grizzlies from the Utah Jazz. Ochai Agbaji, shooting guard, Kansas. This would be an interesting pick for the Grizzlies, who have some decisions to make regarding some of the wings on their roster. Agbaji really put himself in a good position to return to school and winning most outstanding player in the tournament to be a first rounder. 23, to Philadelphia 76ers. Wendell Moore Jr., shooting guard, small forward, Duke. The Nets chose to defer this pick to 2023, which says a ton about how they feel about the 76ers next season, so there is some pressure to nail this pick. I like the idea of Moore here due to his floor spacing and ability to shoot the three. 24, the Milwaukee Bucks. Marjon Beecham, shooting guard, G League Ignite. Here I have another player from the G League Ignite team, in Beecham. He's a really good scorer, and he can be the heat check guy for the Bucks, who can end up right back in the title contention next year, which I think they will be if they keep the current group intact, which they will. 25, the San Antonio Spurs from the Boston Celtics. Jaden Hardy, shooting guard, the G League Ignite. With the third first rounder of the Spurs, I have them taking the third G League Ignite player in this mock with Hardy. He's a player that didn't live up to the hype with Unite, but has a ton of potential that he can unlock. 26, the Dallas Mavericks. Walker Kessler, center, Auburn. This would be an interesting pick for the Mavericks, who don't have a true center on their roster. Kessler is an absolute monster defensively and is a block shot party. 27, the Miami Heat. Jake LaRavia, power forward, Wake Forest. The Heat are just looking for depth pieces at this point, or they may trade out of this pick altogether. LaRavia has good aspects of the game and can shoot the three ball well, which bodes well for today's NBA. 28, the Golden State Warriors. Christian Braun, shooting guard, Kansas. The Warriors are another candidate to trade out of their selection. Braun is an NBA-ready 3-and-D wing and is good at attacking the rim. 29, the Memphis Grizzlies. Dalen Terry, point guard, shooting guard, Arizona. Terry's a fast-rising prospect with the draft in 2 weeks, and the Grizzlies are looking to add to what could be a championship contender. Terry is someone that has great character on and off the court, and the Grizzlies can mold him into a key contributor. And number 30, the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Phoenix Suns. Kendall Brown, small forward, Baylor. Brown falling to the end of the first round would be a steal for the Thunder. Brown can come off the bench and provide solid play and has the athleticism to succeed. So there you have it, my 6th NBA mock draft. All right, now I'm going to do news and notes for today. There's a lot of trash talk in these NBA finals. Isaiah Thomas called out Draymond Green for his dismal performance in Game 3. Klay Thompson slams rude Celtics fans as his quotes were going viral after he ripped the Boston crowd. And then Paul Pierce went on Instagram Live and trash talked the 2 Warriors fans. And the funny thing before the game is that the Warriors' Game 3 warm-ups were paused after players complained about the basket height, as the basket was too high. Steph Curry left Game 3 in a lot of pain in the fourth quarter. Steve Kerr said we'll know more today. And Steph expects to play Game 4, which is good. So the Angels obviously are trying to end their double-digit losing streak. It's in the teens now. As the team got creative, as every hitter walked up to a different Nickelback song, which is insane. Francisco Alvarez, the Mets called him up, took the first pitch for a home run. So he's going to probably be the starting catcher for the Mets going forward. He's a monster. And speaking of monster prospects, the Blue Jays are calling one of their own, another catcher, Gabriel Moreno, hitting .323 in AAA. Pete Alonso day-to-day, after x-rays on hand come back negative. Clayton Kershaw will be back for the Dodgers on Sunday against the San Francisco Giants after missing a month with SI joint inflammation. So that is great news that he'll be back. Aaron Donald got a big contract extension a few days ago, and now Cooper Kupp gets one. 3 years, $110 million, as he'll be paid over $20 million a year. So that's well-deserved for Cooper Kupp. He's the best wide receiver in football. Your reigning Super Bowl MVP. They bring him back on a long-term extension. And Donald got an extension too. So the Rams are in a good spot in terms of chances for them to repeat. Here's a great stat for you guys. Connor McDavid, 156 points over the regular season and the playoffs, for the most by a player has scored in a single season, including the postseason, since 1995. That's insane. Derek might have a point. He might win the Hart Trophy over Austin Matthews. So the Yankees and the Twins had a little reunion because of the trade last year. And Gleyber Torres didn't want to let go of hugging Gary Sanchez, which was cute. The Garden is having a Game 6 watch party. So that is very interesting. Because obviously Game 6 is in Tampa, and usually their watching view parties are at like Bryant Park or something like that. It's somewhere like that. Alright, a WNBA trade happened yesterday as the New York Liberty trade Asia Durr to the Atlanta Dream for Megan Walker and the rights to Raquel Carrera. And the Liberty are adding Maureen Johannes This is an interesting trade. AD had her COVID battle. And now she goes to Atlanta. So we'll see if a change of scenery could help AD. And Liberty get some depth pieces for AD. Jazz to interview Frank Vogel for its opening. And current team assistant Lamar Skeeter. Those two were the latest candidates for the job. So Utah has a lot of people in play for their job. Six staffers, including a player, tested positive for COVID from the Phoenix Suns late in the Western Conference semifinals or the day after. That's wild. There's a lot of what's wrong with the Suns, like why'd they lose to Dallas, and they're clearly better than Dallas, and yada, yada, yada. Part of me wonders if they played with COVID. That's kind of wild. And that would make sense to why they melted back down as bad as they did in Game 7 against Dallas at home. So I knew there would be something to come out of the Suns situation, and there it is. Nationals general manager Mike Rizzo dismisses the idea of replacing Dave Martinez with former Angels manager Joe Maddon. I think the Nats would be dumb to do that at this point in the season. They're a rebuilding team. They're a dysfunctional team. Dave won a World Series, so I don't think it's fair to fire him right now in the middle of the year. And he might be fired at the end of the season, but I don't think it's fair right now. Just so they can bring in somebody who was fired because of a long losing streak. And last item of news and note today, Giants running back Saquon Barkley says he feels a lot better than he did at this point last year after dealing with the knee injury. That's good news. Obviously, 2 years ago he tore his ACL. And usually that is a 2-year injury to recover from. So if he has a big bounce back year this year, he's going to earn himself a big contract. All right, so that's it for news and notes. And last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I don't remember the last time I gave out best bet on DraftKings. But for today, best bet was a loser yesterday with the Marlins run line. So today's best bet, I am going to go with over 7.5 in the Red Sox-Angels game. I think that's low. I think either Ohtani or Pivetta could blow up. Maybe both of them do. And I think one of these teams might take the over by themselves. I'm going to go over 7.5 between the Red Sox and the Angels for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from today, looking ahead to everything for tomorrow and the weekend. Potentially an NHL mock draft on tomorrow's show. And the core rankings for the NHL as well. And obviously golf, NASCAR, news and notes, Major League Soccer, best bet, and everything else. So I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.